you got there?
The new T-Roc. You'll just want one. Volkswagen.
Good morning and welcome to the Bay Games Unstoppable Edition 2020. I am your host, Ed Morrison. It is an absolute pleasure to have you with us. And if you didn't catch last night's introduction show, as I said, nothing was going to stop us going ahead with this event. There was every reason to cancel it, and we have forged on. And this morning, we shall get stuck in. So right now, what we're going to do is cross to the team in a moment. We're going to release two. Well, you already know them, but we're going to go through the movement standards of two workouts. Event 1, the rower, and Event 5, Are You Okay? In fact, why don't we cross over to the team now? And I'm joined by my good friend and director of the Bay Games, once again, Mr. Matt Lott. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Ed. Good to see you again, bright and early this morning. And as you can see, we're down at Huskisson Wharf, which is the gateway to Jervis Bay.
Yes, you've definitely got me very jealous in my setup in Melbourne here. It's extremely picturesque where you are. And not only do you have some beautiful scenery, but you've got some beautiful people with you as well. But Matt, last night we talked about what this meant, this event, continuing to put it on. And for those that may have missed it, talk to us once again about the goals behind continuing on with this event.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, aptly named the Unstoppable Edition of the Bay Games 2020. At the end of the day, we've because of COVID, we had to push out the in-person event to next year. But we decided that we wanted to give all of our athletes around Australia, New Zealand and beyond the opportunity of still competing, connecting, getting together, having some fun. At the end of the day, throwing down, sweating, suffering a little and smiling together. So we decided that we'd take the format of the Bay Games and take it online, which is what we're doing throughout this weekend.
Now, Matt, if fitness via osmosis was very possible, you would be an extremely fit person right now because you are standing between two of the fittest people I've ever met in my life. Can you please introduce our guests and co-hosts with you?
Absolutely, I'm very much a thorn between two roses, no question about it. So on my right, I have our head judge and certainly well known to our audience, Alethea Boone, a multiple CrossFit Games and Commonwealth Games athlete. Good morning, Alethea. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Morning, Matt, and morning, everyone. An absolute pleasure to be down here in Huskisson. It's beautiful.
That's right, not even a little cloud cover. It was a little bit damp earlier, not going to lie, but it's drying up now and we're all set for a great weekend. Alethea, thank you for joining us. And on my left, on your right, we have Peter Day from F45, the owner of F45 Chatswood and Seaforth, and three-time F45 playoff champion. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, guys, and thank you, Matt, for having me. Really excited for this weekend. I hope you guys are as well.
No, absolutely. And Peter, not only are you kindly going to take us through the movement standards with and demonstrate the movement standards with Alethea, but as well you're going to be throwing down yourself and competing, or not competing, but you're going to be completing the workouts, all 5 of them today, which we're looking forward to.
I just don't want everyone to hog all the fun at home, so I'm excited to jump in with the workouts. I'm really pumped for an epic weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter, thank you very much for being here. And look, before we dive into event 1, I want to give a shout out again to one of our sponsors, Timebirds, a company from Melbourne. They've launched, they've created an incredible timing device that basically fits in your pocket almost. They had a Kickstarter project which raised just over $1 million US. As I say, they're based in Melbourne. There's 4 of them. They're absolute legends. And all of the podium finishers this weekend will be one of the first recipients of a Timebird timer. So rather than me tell you all about it, let's take a little look at what the Timebird timers look like.
I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
I love it when you
All right, team, time for us to revisit Event 1. I say revisit because the events have been available online for some time now. But before I go through that, make sure that if you are going to submit a score today, that you think about recording your workout. And we use WeTime app for that. Head Judge Nerida Locke talked to us about some tips and tricks with that last night to make sure it doesn't go wrong for you. So make sure that your phone's on flight mode, you've got enough memory, and it is fully charged. Remember, if you have a top 10 score, then we will be asking for you to submit a video of that workout. So even if you don't know if you get a top 10 score for the workout, record it anyway, and we might ask for it if necessary. Let's go through event 1, and then we'll cross back to the team for some movement standards from Alethea Boone and Peter Day. So event 1 for individuals is the rower. For advanced athletes, for time, complete 30 lateral burpees over the rower. Gentlemen will then row 5,500 meters, ladies 4,500 meters, and then finishing once again with 30 lateral burpees over the rower. For intermediates and juniors, for time, they will complete 20 lateral burpees over the rower. Gentlemen will then row 4,500 meters, ladies will row 3,500 meters, and then finish once again with another 20 lateral burpees over the rower. Masters 40 plus for time will complete the same workout as intermediate and juniors. 20 lateral burpees over the rower, 4,500 meters on the rower for men, 3,500 for ladies, and then 20 lateral burpees over the rower. I'm going to cross to the team now, and they're going to take you through the movement standards. So standing by is Alethea and Peter. Alethea, take it away.
Alrighty guys, we're going to go through the movement standards. Remember, all weekend it is about integrity of movement, so be sure to check out the information sheet on the score sheets that has a lot of information on it, and we will demo the movements for you right now. Be sure that when you start the workout, the monitor of the rower must be set to 0 distance at the beginning of the workout. The athlete will start standing next to their rower. Athlete must use a lateral variation of the burpee. No other variation is allowed. Athletes must touch their chest and thighs to the ground at the bottom of the burpee and may get over the rower using any method possible. They may jump. They may also step over the rower. They may also jump their feet into their hands or step into their hands. The athlete must not touch the rower as they jump over. That is considered a no rep. The athletes are not required to stand at full extension before jumping over the rower, so you may jump over leaning over. What is constituted as a no rep is a burpee that is not going laterally over the rower. No rep. Normally I would ask if you had any questions, but I think Peter did a pretty good job in showing us what constitutes a good rep and a no rep. When you are on the rower, athletes, you must row with both feet hooked in and the hands holding on to the bar all the way until you reach the designated distance for your category. Once you have reached the final distance, you may then put the rower back and continue doing your burpees. And there are your movement standards.
Thank you so much, Alethea. Well, it looks like a very tough workout and a decent amount of time on the rower. We're going to talk in a moment to both Alethea and Peter to get an idea of perhaps how you might go about tackling this, what strategy you might use. But before we do that, I'm going to cross back to Matt. And right now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to release the floater workout. So I'm heading back to Matt now to release that workout.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. So absolutely, event number 5 is the floating workout. So athletes have from 7 o'clock this morning until 4 o'clock this afternoon to complete this workout whenever they wish and upload their results. So it's definitely a question of strategy to think about best, when best during the day to complete this workout. And the event is called Are You OK? And there's a couple of reasons for that. For those who are familiar with the Bay Games and have competed with us before, you know that we're very much in support of Are You OK? As an organisation. Certainly mental health and suicide prevention has never been more necessary and real as we've seen during this year, and it's certainly something we're in support of, along with Lifeline Australia. The other reason this workout is called Are You OK? Is because even though it's only 2 minutes long, it'll be a perfectly valid question after those 2 minutes to ask the athlete lying on the floor, are you okay? Because it's short and sharp, so let's hear what it is. Are You OK? Is on a 2-minute running clock. Athletes must complete 1 minute max calorie ski erg straight into max reps of alternating dumbbell power snatches. So the cals are at 60 seconds of ski erg. The athlete must stop, and it's the reading on the calorie reading at that moment, and go immediately into max reps of alternating dumbbell power snatch. So of course you've got to ask yourselves whether you can redline for 2 minutes or whether there's some sort of pacing strategy in either half of that. I'm not the person to give you that advice, for sure not, but what I'm going to do is hand over to Alethea and Pete, and Alethea will take us through the movement standards, and Pete will demonstrate how he plans to attack this later today.
Okay everyone, this one is a burner. The workout starts on the ski erg. The monitor of the ski erg must be set to 0 calories at the beginning of the workout. Athletes submitting video submissions for review must ensure that the start and finish calories of the ski erg monitor is shown. Athletes, Peter's going to give us a demonstration of a good ripping of the ski. Once he completes the ski and the calories tick over, he's going to dumbbell, the alternating dumbbell snatch. Peter's going to show us 2 dumbbell snatches. Awesome. The alternating dumbbell snatch starts with the dumbbell on the ground between the athlete's legs, finishes with the dumbbell directly overhead. At the bottom of the movement, both heads of the dumbbell must touch the ground between the athlete's legs between repetitions. The dumbbell must be lifted overhead in one simultaneous motion. It may not come into contact with the athlete's shoulder on the way up. The dumbbell may touch the shoulder on the lowering phase between the reps. Bouncing the dumbbell is not permitted. At the top of the rep, the arms, hips and knees must be fully locked out with the dumbbell clearly over the middle of the athlete's body. When looking from the side, the athlete's lockout will count when it's fully locked out overhead. The athlete may choose to do a muscle snatch, a power snatch, a split power snatch, so long as the dumbbell is received with the hip crease above parallel. A squat snatch is not permitted. So squatting down lower is a no rep. Both feet must be in line with the athlete's body while the dumbbell is locked out overhead for the rep to count. So if Peter, if you show us a split snatch, both feet must come back together and that counts as a good rep. Any questions that you might have?
I might just show you can also swap hands on the way down the movement as well, just as long as it's underneath your shoulders. So I might show an alternating grip, I'm alternating on the way down as well if you'd like to. Out. You can swap halfway down.
So you can swap on the way down, but you cannot bounce the dumbbell off the ground.
I often ask myself when I'm exercising, why do I not feel what it looks like Peter working out on a deck at Jervis Bay. But anyway, I feel like these events are going to be really tricky. And I love that we're starting off with two events that are completely different time domains. One, a very long workout, and then the other one, obviously, a short burner. And if you're thinking about how to tackle these, there's no better people to give you advice on these than Alethea Boone and Peter Day. Alethea, I might start with you. This first workout, the rower, it's a long time sitting on the rower, but I want to put to you, what type of strategy would you adopt with the burpees, particularly the first 30 or 20 burpees, depending on what division you're in? Would you be hitting them flat chat, Alethea, or will you be backing it off a little bit?
To be quite honest, for my strategy, the burpees, I would definitely hit them flat tack. 30 burpees aren't too many, and 4.5K is a long time to settle into the row. So I would use the first bit of the row just to settle into a decent pace. But yeah, definitely go pace on the burpees.
Absolutely. And if I could ask you about the second one then, and based on the fact that you think doing 30 burpees, flat chat, and a long workout is the right play, I've got a feeling I know what you're going to say for the 2-minute workout, but is there any pacing required on the ski erg power snatch, or is that one also flat chat?
100%. 2 minutes isn't that long, so it would definitely be a full pace for as long as you can. I would definitely, for me, calories on the ski erg, I wouldn't be able to get out too many, but on the dumbbell snatch, that's where I would try and bank my money.
Absolutely. Matt, do you mind asking Peter, does he always look like that when he works out? And does he always have that type of backdrop when he works out?
Ed would like to know if you always look this way when you work out, and including the backdrop and everything.
This is normally where I work out, just in front of a beautiful backdrop every single day. No, not at all. It's normally much different. It's much more, much more sweatier. Not as pretty as the beautiful atmosphere that we have here as well.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Good. So, yeah, we have a slight delay. Peter, you're going to be completing the workout today, as we've talked about. So, without giving too many secrets away, what's your plan for event number 1? What are you thinking?
So I do agree with Alethea on event number 1 as well. I think the burpees on this one in particular, I'm going to get them done fairly quickly, but not try to go too fast, because you can definitely redline with burpees as well. And there's no way you want to jump on the rower with your heart rate above 150, 160. But you want to try to do them nice and efficiently. And I agree, 5.5K for the males, 4.5K for the females. There's plenty of time to settle in there. I think your stroke rate's got to be down. You really do need to settle, because again, it's going to be a decent time with this workout. So you really want to make sure you're not over-exerting yourself as well, getting to that nice rhythm, and then the last 30s, just go for it.
And how about Are You OK? What are your thoughts around that?
I'm okay now, but I haven't done it yet. But I am excited for this event. I think this one will hurt, potentially more than event 1. That's saying something. A minute on the ski erg is enough time to definitely get some calories up there. So again, I'm probably 50-50 between these in terms of my strengths. It is a fast pace, but it isn't max out. It's going that 90 to 100%, and then once you get onto the dumbbell, it's just complete as many snatches as you can. I think by that time, I'm not sure if I'll be so I should be so okay. It'd be a lot of pain, but a lot of fun.
No, fantastic. Thank you, Alethea, Peter. Thank you ever so much. And look, one of the behind the scenes, I guess, what goes on during a year like this. We've got Will Henker, our head of programming, who I'm pleased to say is back with his wife Carrie back at their home in Bali. For sure, whenever we make a decision, like with the Grand Slam, we have to make a home edition, or with the Bay Games, we have to make an Unstoppable edition. It's kind of taken for granted that the programming, the workouts are issued and it kind of happens. And I can't tell you how much work goes into that, really, by Will and the team. And we try to stay true to the workouts that had already been programmed where we could. But of course, we see with event 1, we had to change from burpees and paddleboarding and running, obviously in a gym environment, taking into a rower, still with the burpees, of course. But look, massive thank you to Will and the team. I mean, I have to say, an amazing member of the team and so supportive of everything that we're doing. And certainly I had a chat with Will just yesterday, and he can't be with us live now, but let's have a little listen to Will's thoughts around the programming for this event. Hey Will, how you doing? We've got the athletes underway. They are now attacking the rower, event number 1, and we thought we'd jump across, have a chat with you, and just hear how the programming all came together as we adapted through this pandemic.
Absolutely. I've been waiting for this to happen. Obviously, we had the initial programming for the normal Bay Games, given the not normal situations. And yeah, I was excited for them to get out on the stand-up paddleboard and have this really endurance-focused event. But yeah, obviously we had to make some changes. Things are flexing, and everyone's trying to adapt, as are the athletes now. So taking on the rower instead of the stand-up paddleboard, still have the element of the burpees going over, and then the added stuff in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what were some of the considerations that you and the team had to keep in mind when you were adapting some of the workouts from the in-person event, and as well coming up with some new workouts? What kind of considerations were there?
So the big thing is we had already released the workouts, right? So we wanted to make sure that all the training and preparation that had gone into it wasn't lost or was as translatable to what was going to happen now. So still keeping the endurance aspect and testing environment that we initially planned for event 1. So instead of taking it on the paddleboard, we had it just to the rower instead. So similar, rowing is still simulated to be on the water normally. So still had that element there. And we kind of changed up to having that longer paced row versus having the shorter pace of the longer run and the shorter paddleboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we had a bit of feedback from some athletes who were kind of gutted that the run was going to be missing from this version of the Unstoppable, I should say, whereas others were pretty happy about that. So I guess it will change it for some of the athletes, but as well, we had to think about the conditions in which that the athletes are actually operating. So access to a gym, whether it's a home gym, but most will be certainly accessing their own gym and training alongside their mates. But as well, even their equipment is a key consideration, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So we want to make sure that every gym, regardless of how big or small, where they were located geographically, that had access to the equipment. So I think the rower for the Concept 2 has been around for quite some time. So I think it's pretty accessible to most people. Now, for those people that were happy that the run went away, I can't promise you that it won't make an appearance next year, because I was quite excited to have a trail run simulated to go through running through Jervis Bay. So keep your eyes up for that. Yeah,
absolutely. And as well, the ropes as well. So I guess Beer O'Clock is untouched. So I guess it's safe to assume that Beer O'Clock will make it into the games in March in 2021. Looking forward to that, certainly. So yeah, okay, awesome. Well, thanks for touching base with us. We're going to go back and start watching the leaderboard, see what's going down. And I think we're going to have the chance to see some athletes doing it live in real time. So thank you to you and the team for being so adaptable this year. I know we had to do the same with the Grand Slam. We've done the same with the Unstoppable Bay Games, and appreciate you and the team very much.
Absolutely. Good luck, everyone.
Well, what a team of athletes we have assembled for you this weekend to present the workouts and provide programming for you. Will Henke, what a delightful man he is. Now, folks, it's on you now. There's 2 events that you're available to do. In fact, some of you might already have started event 1. So 30 burpees or 20, depending on what division you're in, a long row, and then finishing off with the burpees again. Remember to use that WeTime app, and remember to make sure that your phone is charged, it's on flight mode, and you've got enough memory. Now, what's happening next? Well, we'll be back here in approximately 2.5 hours. So at 9:50, we'll be back here and we'll be reviewing event number 2. And again, going through the movement standards for that once again with the lovely Alethea Boone and Peter Day once more. For me, I've got a rower to me about 3 meters to my left. So you can find me on that for the next however long. And I'll get back to you and let you know how I found that workout as well. Folks, we're going to hear from Wonderfit. That's Will Henke's company. And I'll see you in a few hours.
Hi guys, I'm Carrie. This is Will.
And we're the founders of Wonderfit.
Wonderfit is an active adventure and fitness retreat company. We take you to the most beautiful places in the world. We combine fitness and active adventures.
We started Wonderfit to take my passion for fitness and Carrie's passion for travel and building a community of like-minded travelers. On our retreats, when you join us, you can expect to have some awesome fitness, meet some amazing people, experience the amazing culture that each of our destinations has to offer. Simply put, we make an awesome bucket list trip that you get to experience.
What we love so much about it is seeing people come as strangers and leave as friends.
Looking forward to meeting you.